So I just had a buyer ask me what the national news that just came out about the real estate market means in this market. And I'm going to explain to you how the real estate market is just like the weather. So stay tuned. So my name is Sean Price. I am with Price & Price Group here at eXp Realty. And just had a conversation with a buyer that was quoting a study that they had come across from a national source about the real estate market and the impending crash that was coming. First of all, nobody knows what's going to happen with the real estate market, the mechanics of the market. You know, nobody's expecting a full-on crash. A lot of these social media posts, a lot of these media posts that are talking about the upcoming real estate crash, a lot of that's clickbait. When you actually go into the article, you'll read some statistics and you'll see that, you know, they're expecting there's going to be a slowdown sometime over the next, 6 months to 2 years. A slowdown as far as like the appreciation and things like that, but they don't expect there to actually be a crash. The mechanics just aren't there. But the purpose of this video is to be kind of what they call an evergreen video. It's to understand how to differentiate between the news of what you're seeing on national news regarding the real estate market and what that actually means in your market. So the way that I like to explain this to my buyers and my sellers actually is that let's say that you're looking at the weather report, and let's say that they say, today in the United States, it's going to be 70 with a 30% chance of rain showers. Well, that means absolutely nothing. So across the country, the average is that it's going to be 70 degrees with a 30% chance of rain showers. It could be sunny and dry in California or Arizona at 110 degrees. It could be up in Boston, it could be snowing and in the negative temperatures. You just don't know what that means locally. And it's the same thing for a real estate market. When you see news that comes out from Redfin or from whatever the source is, where the chief economist of the United States or whoever the source is that's talking about what's happening with the real estate market, you have to keep in mind that that is nationally. That doesn't have anything to do with our specific market here in Northern Virginia. It doesn't have anything to do with a specific market in Florida or a specific market, in California, for example. It doesn't have anything to do with those markets individually. It's an average of all of the data that they collect. So when they say the housing market, the average housing price, for example, the median sales price of a house in the United States is $345,000. Okay, I've seen that number. That doesn't mean anything because here in Northern Virginia, depending on what county you're in, that's as high as $600,000. So there's again, it's very, very market specific. So when you're seeing these numbers, and I have a lot of buyers, that they respond to how they want to make their purchasing decisions based on what they're seeing nationally, and they're believing that there might be some kind of a foreclosure influx, or there might be some kind of a crash that's coming or something like that that's going to happen, whereas in our market that may not be true. So it's very, very important to look at local statistics, to look at local information, to compare local information year over year, to know what's going on with the market locally, because that is what matters. And if you want more information about our local market, I do a weekly market report that uses what's called leading measures versus lagging measures. So what do I mean by that? So a lagging measure, and this is something else I want to talk about with regards to national reports. So a lagging measure is, let's say, the house price, the median house price, or number of homes sold, okay? That's a lagging measure because that is something that occurred usually at minimum of 30 days, sometimes up to 60 days before the cycle is completed. So a property gets sold, it goes under contract. Let's say today is March 1st, which it's not, but let's say today is March 1st. A property goes under contract. The earliest that property on average is going to close is going to be April 1st. So that's a 30-day lag right there. The other thing is sometimes they take 45 days, sometimes they take 60 days. So when you're looking at closed data for, let's say, April 1st, you're actually looking at market activity for March or February. So that's already a lag there. Now, when you get that data out into the national media and it gets out, there's a lag there, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. It takes a while for that to get out. So you could be looking at 4-month-old data when you're getting these reports that are coming out. Okay, so that's thing number one. Thing number two, that's the lagging data. So you want to look at leading data. So what's leading data? Leading data is What is the current inventory? What is the current days on market? How many houses are actively on the market right now versus how many houses went under contract, whether it's pending or active under contract? What happened with those? Those are leading indicators because that information, the number of active houses, that's right now. The number of houses that went under contract, that's right now. That tells us what's happening right now versus 30 days from now when these houses actually process through and come into a transaction. So that's the difference between leading and lagging measures. So you want to look at market reports for both, but you really want to focus, if you're looking to make accurate, timely decisions, you really want to look at data that's happening right now, those leading measures. So the market reports that we shoot and that we put out every week, those are leading measures. Those are number of our inventory activity, what it has done over the last 7 days, and pendings and active under contracts that have happened in the last 7 days. So you'll have a 7-day window of what's actually happening. On top of that, we also give you what the pulse of the market is. So what we're actually experiencing, what our buyers are experiencing. Are they experiencing multiple offers? Are they seeing a little bit of a break? So for example, at the time of this video, this is spring break here in Northern Virginia. So we've seen a slowdown in buyer activity this week because a lot of buyers are out of town. Next week, we expect that to pick right back up. So these are things to consider. It's very, very market dependent. And even within that market, it can be county dependent. Even within that county, it can be city dependent. And even within that city, it can be area dependent. So you have to make your decisions based on local information that is accurate and relevant to the decisions you personally are making, not the national data. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to let us know, and we will see you on our next video.